Some gamers prefer quick, sweet experiences that can be squeezed into a few afternoon sessions after work or a long weekend free from plans. Others, however, prefer to jump in for a long haul, playing through deep stories, learning about mountains of lore, and spending countless hours getting to know a character. Thankfully, among its long list of cozy games, action RPGs, and strategy titles, Xbox Game Pass has a host of games that can easily keep players busy for countless hours. Though many do this through endless endgame content or the open boundaries of a sandbox world, this list is going to focus on some of the longest experiences on Game Pass based on the average time it takes to complete their main story. Number 10. Tales of Arise. Narrative seekers look no further. Not only is Tales of Arise a lengthy experience full of fast-paced combo-based action combat, but it features one of the most compelling and well-told stories on this list. The Tales series boasts over 15 titles, with Tales of Arise being the most recent entry. Of course, having played the other games offers an additional layer of context, but it's in no way required. Tales of Arise does plenty to explain what's going on for players new to the series. The semi-open world is massive and full of arena-style fights, and there are plenty of combat options to play around with. Just prepare for a lot of dialogue, especially in the opening hours. Number 9. Rune Factory 4 Special. The farming format featured in many cozy games makes for a long experience on its own, endlessly driving players to grow more crops and search for the highest value seeds. In Rune Factory 4 Special, that addictive farming loop is paired with dungeon exploration, relationship building, and an encyclopedia of different recipes to discover and craft that help drive character progression and, by association, completion time. More so than other titles on this list, the main story can be extended out as long as players want, based on the actions they decide to focus on and the tasks they decide to complete. A crit path of the game's campaign won't provide as many hours of playtime as a play-through where players take a moment or two and really explore what the game has to offer. Number 8. Fallout 76. Spending time exploring the rolling, mutant-infested hills of Appalachia is endlessly addictive, especially when paired with a fitting soundtrack. Fallout 76 is full of things to loot and side quests to complete, and though the main story takes on average just under 35 hours, there is what feels like an endless number of things to do once it's done or throughout the process. Unlike previous Fallout titles, players aren't alone in this wasteland, so find some friends, search for nuclear codes, and reap the rewards through hours of playable content that will only get longer as Bethesda continues to update the game. Number 7. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. A real-time strategy title for and from the history books, Age of Empires 2. Definitive Edition doubles as an addictive game and a collection of history classes mashed together into one satisfying experience. The campaigns take place across a handful of different civilizations, and each features scenarios based on historical events. Even on a lower difficulty, some of these scenarios can provide a real strategic challenge. Thanks to an in-game map editor, the opportunity for new scenarios is endless, and just because players finish all the campaign scenarios doesn't mean the experience is anywhere close to being over. Number 6. Dragon Age Inquisition. All the titles in the Dragon Age series are long enough to land them on this list, but Dragon Age Inquisition is the most extensive. As is tradition for BioWare titles, choices are impactful and play out dramatically through players' relationships with NPCs. Though on its own the main story takes nearly 50 hours to complete, the long list of side quests available shouldn't be ignored. Each features its own interesting narrative arc, ranging from an endearing insight into a character's past to a dark truth about a faithful party member. Number 5. Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Long known as the formidable stomping grounds for some of the best brawler combat in gaming, Yakuza, Like a Dragon took a drastic yet incredibly enjoyable turn on the series, taking it down the path of turn-based RPGs. For the over 40-hour campaign, the combat remains incredibly engaging as the developers decided to keep some hallmarks of the Yakuza series present, such as the ability to interact with the environment mid-battle in interesting ways. Many lengthy gaming experiences draw out the list of available activities by introducing simple, copy-paste style side quests and activities. The Yakuza series, however, takes side quests very seriously, designating them as subplots and giving each a decent amount of depth worth experiencing. Number 4. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch Remastered. A surprisingly lengthy title, Ni no Kuni. Wrath of the White Witch is a great place to look for players interested in creature collecting, anime, or charming stories, featuring a host of creatures to collect, tame, and use in battle. This Studio Ghibli-inspired action RPG has an immense amount of completion work to be done for those willing to take on the task. The game takes place mostly on an overworld-style map with combat happening in arena battles, making exploration not particularly immersive but extremely rewarding. The main story is quite lengthy with an extremely engaging narrative, and the game remains fun well after the credits roll. Number 3. Persona 3 Reload. It's not every day that high school students take it upon themselves to battle monsters as an extracurricular activity, but such is the case in Persona 3 Reload, a remake of the original Persona 3 released in 2006. Reload brings a complete graphical overhaul with additional improvements introduced in newer titles of the series. The Persona franchise is close to a genre in itself, relying on a heavy focus on both classic RPG combat and cozy relationship building. Persona 3 Reload puts a heavy focus on the story, and though there isn't a mountain of additional content post-game, the main quest line is long enough that players can expect a good 60 hours or more of playtime. Number 2. Pillars of Eternity 2. Deadfire Ultimate Edition. Classic RPG fans rejoice. Although Pillars of Eternity 2. Deadfire strays from the classic systems of turn-based combat, its roots are deeply entwined with the likes of Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale. There's no shortage of choices to make, characters to meet, or builds to explore, and thankfully, a well-written narrative wraps all these features up in a nice bow. Different choices in Pillars of Eternity 2 mean different stories, and a long list of class choices ranging from transforming druids to powerful mages makes experiencing the different story outcomes fresh and unique. For players looking for replayability, there is a lot to find here. Number 1. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The sheer scale of the map in Assassin's Creed Valhalla is impressive on its own. Add in the long list of activities, hidden secrets, and quests to complete, and it quickly rises to the top of the charts in terms of overall length. Its campaign alone typically extends beyond the 60-hour mark. Valhalla, like the 2 Assassin's Creed titles before it, puts a very different spin on the series. Even though the debate over whether that's a good or bad thing is endless, there is no doubt that players looking for a lengthy experience will find one here. We hope you like the items we recommend and discuss. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.